All right, welcome in. Today we are going to be playing the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. And we are going to be investigating this lovely room that you see before you today. So I think everything looks good. Let's go ahead and get an intro and let's hop right on in so we can see what happens. Greetings, friends, and welcome to Enigma Night Gaming. My name is Liara, and I will be your guide in today's adventure. Today, we are playing the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, and in today's episode, we finally located Drebber's hideout, workshop, whatever you want to call it, and now we must investigate. What are we going to find there? Will we find the man himself? I don't know. Without further ado, let's hop into the game. All right. Here we go. All right, 23rd of October, Enoch Drebber's workshop. My. That looks like... exactly? Oh, it's another super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine. Indeed, it would appear so, though only a prototype naturally. Ah, so you got here then? Gina, well done for finding this place. And in such little time. You really worked miracles. Oh boy. It's Toby here, who's the miracle worker. Oof. I thought you lot would show up before long. Hello, Inspector. That's one knitted brow. He looks really angry. He looks like he's eating a lemon, not a bag of fish and chips. Exactly. So, Inspector, is there any sign of the engineer? Sadly not. We didn't find a soul in here. Oh, what a shame. Well, thank you for letting us know about this place and giving us the chance to investigate. According to what Gina tells me, we only found it thanks to a clue that you lot turned up. I wouldn't want to say go to Paris with a debt of gratitude unpaid now, would I? Thank you? Yeah, I don't know why he's going to Paris. Anyway, if you're open to snoop around here, I'd get cracking. Lord Van Zeeks and the forensic investigation team are on their way here as we speak. Them again. Imagine you've got the picture by now. They don't take too kindly to lawyer types. Right. So then, my dear fellow, let's turn this place upside down whilst we have the chance. And you, Sholmes? Pardon? They take even less kindly to great detectives than they do to lawyers. Very droll, Gregson, very droll. But you may consider me nothing more than an inconspicuous waxwork model. He's going incognito. Alright then, let's see what we can find in here. Oh boy. Alright, time to investigate. We've got a trophy here. What's this? Ah, this appears to be a most interesting. Yes, most interesting indeed, wouldn't you say? It's an impressive looking back massager, that's for sure. It's not a back massager, it's a trophy, my guy. I've no doubt that if you hit your shoulders a few times with that, your aches and pains would soon go away. Yeah, that's the way I feel, Sholmes. It's a Royal Society trophy for excellence in science. A young scientist could wish for no higher honor. Ah. Would you like a massage? No, I'm fine, thank you. I had no idea it was such a grand thing. I think it's becoming increasingly clear that there's much more to this Mr. Enoch Drebber than conjuring tricks. I couldn't agree more, my dear madam. And how about you, Mr. Naruhodo? Wouldn't you like to take it with you? For your tired shoulders, of course. He's not going to let that go, is he? Of course he's not. This is Sholmes we're talking about. It's curious, though, isn't it? You would expect such an important trophy to be proudly on display somewhere, not haphazardly cast aside. Unless he stole it. English gentlemen can be quite a mystery at times. All right, so we've got the science trophy and the court record. We'll examine that after a while. I want to see what this is about. This looks like it could be useful. This is... It's a European-style quiver of arrows with steel bolts inside, which could be used for puncturing a hot air balloon, mayhaps? Oh, do you suppose? Crossbow bolts these. And just the right size for the bow you lot turned up at the exhibition grounds. In other words... Yep, that's more evidence to support your theory. It all goes to show that Drebber was the one pulling the strings behind the scenes of the whole scam. Alright, we've got that added in. Man, what else do we got in here? We're just getting everything, all kinds of stuff. I know we got the big machine. Let's look at this wood. I'm sorry, Mr. Naruhodo. That machine is covered by the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. Oops. There would be serious repercussions if you were to examine it from the Crown and the government. Why would that machine be under it? Because that machine wasn't involved in a crime, right? What's Sholmes finding? They're looking at something? Well, those two don't seem to be holding back. It's quite hollow inside. No working parts or devices or deception to be seen, my dear fellow. No loose change dropped on the floor or nothing. Not even a bone for Toby, my dear fella. British people are very much ruled by their own ideals, aren't they? I think that's just these two, Miss Sato. Oh boy. Alright, so let's see what else we got. There's something over here. What is this? What on earth is this? An aeroplane, Mr. Naruhodo. One day, scientists believe it will allow humans to fly freely in the skies. Is that how the trick will be described, is it? Sorry? Well, it's actually suspended by a thin but very strong cable, isn't it? Oh, well, this model is, yes. But a real aeroplane would actually fly high in the sky. Well, suspended from somewhere even higher in the sky, of course. Because large metal objects obviously can't really stay in midair unsupported. So to you, the solution is ever taller towers? Apparently. We are not the scientific type, it would appear. Alright, so I think we've looked at everything down here. Let's go ahead and look up and see what we got. If there's anything else that needs to be examined. That may be it. Whoops, we can't look at that. We'll have to skip through that again. They're gonna be looking at that. Alright, so let's wait till they get through all this. Alright. I think that's everything we can examine. I want to look at the two items we discovered, see if we can maybe find something about them. So we found, wasn't there two things? Oh, wait. Where did the quiver go? Huh, I thought it got added. Maybe it was just updated on this item. A crossbow was found hidden in a tree. Does it have the, it doesn't have the quiver. Where's the quiver of arrows? I don't know. Let's look at this. So, this says what? There's a little metal plaque here. Look. Fostering burgeoning talent for the future of scientific discovery. It seems rather ironic, doesn't it? But clearly Mr. Drebber was a very talented scientist. Anything on the bottom? Can we lift the lid? I guess that's it. There's nothing else here, right? Yeah, so just nothing we can examine further, it would appear. Alright. I don't know where the crossbow bolts went. Do we need to examine them again? We already examined them. I guess let's examine Gregson so we can talk to him. I keep clicking on the machine. I don't want to click on the machine. My goodness. We'll skip past this. Well, I don't think we can talk to Gregson because I think he counts as the machine, huh? And there's nothing else we can... Oh, there's this. What's this? This door doesn't want to open. Yeah, looks like it's got a pretty hefty lock on it. There's a specialist locksmith on his way over from the yard, so hands off till he gets here. With permission, Inspector, I could have that lock open in less than a minute. Well, you don't have permission, and no one's given it to you. Gregson looked as though he really enjoyed that. Oh my. Well, there's no sound of anybody on the other side. No, Drebber must have fled at the first sign of danger. Or not? Oh. Is something wrong, Mrs. Sato? Well, I thought I heard a noise from the far side of that door. Well, Gina, did you hear it too? Yeah, I heard it and all. What do you reckon, Toby? Woof woof. Right, behind the grease. Whoever's in there, open up. This is Scotland Yard. I'm sure that'll get them to open right up. I don't think that's the sound you want to hear. Yeah, that's definitely not the sound you want to hear. That would be the sound of criminals escaping. Oh my, someone is in there. Ah, this rotten bleeding lock. My dear Gregson, as I said only minutes ago. If only it were countenanced, I could unlock that door in less than a minute. Oh, well, well, well. Fine, I'll take the rap for it. Just get us through that blasted door. And there, you may enter at will. That was really fast. You've confused minutes with seconds, I think. Exactly. Time is of the essence, I feel. What are we waiting for? Exactly. Let's go, go, go. Nothing for it, I suppose. This is an emergency. There's a strong possibility that beyond that door is the engineer you all seek. Be prepared for action, my dear fellows. Yes, exactly. Oh boy, we're on the trail. Hot on the trail. That's a bomb. What? What's happened in here? That's what I'm wondering. Why is everything upside down? What, say, no one in here after all? But there must be. It was only moments ago that we heard those noises. Maybe that was the sound of Drebber running away? But there's only one door into this room. At least only one that you can find. There may be a hidden secret trapdoor or something. And no windows that could afford an escape route. Those skylights are too high. Really? Really? Then explain this. Explain this. What's that up there? Exactly. If it's too high, why are there footprints up there? Are they footprints on the ceiling? Blow me, what have we here then? Oh man. We got a lot to investigate. Looks like someone was trying to burn something in a hurry. Oh, and that looks like a set of blueprints. To what? To that Professor Hairbrain's barmy machine, is it? Blimey, if we'd had these, there'd have been no need to muck about trying to investigate all that scrap metal. There is something of great interest here, too. This rope was lying on the floor at the foot of that pillar. A rope? What's significant about that? Never mind. You see, but you do not observe, Mr. Naruhodo. We must investigate the entire room thoroughly, and before the forensic investigation team arrive too. Did he, like, climb up, like, scale the wall with the rope into the hot air balloon, and then cut the rope so no one would be able to tell? I don't know. Alright, let's search the scene. Let's start with this. Mr. Sholmes, have you found something? Ah, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, in point of fact, something rather fascinating. What do you make of this? Let's see. I've never seen anything like it before. It looks like a bundle of thick cigars wrapped up in a large... what? Mr. Sato, what's the matter? That's a... She recognized it. Surely that's a time bomb, isn't it? What? Did you say? A time bomb? Sorry, but what is a time bomb exactly? Eh? You truly are one of a kind, Mr. Naruhodo. I won't take that as a compliment. Ha! You don't know nothing, do ya, Odo? You haven't got a clue what it is either, have you, Gina? I invite you to consult a dictionary later, Mr. Naruhodo. But this particular specimen is no time bomb, though I confess it has a very similar appearance. Oh, well, thank goodness. But then what is it? Looks like just a normal bomb? I don't know. I see, so that's it. What's it? Goodness, Mr. Sholmes. Have you seen the heart of the matter? What's going on? There are times when I consider my lot most unfair. For I'm fated never to know how it feels to flounder as you do when a puzzle presents itself. But I have learned to accept the hardships that come with being a great detective, Mr. Sato. There we go. I feel a great deduction coming. Once again, I can draw two conclusions from the scene we see before us. The first is that the inverted nature of the furniture in this room is the work of Drebber himself. Oh, but how could you... And the second conclusion is that the small device on the floor there is, without a question, completely genuine. Please, Mr. Sholmes, you must explain everything. It would be a pleasure. After all, it is a great detective's civic duty to teach Scotland Yard the finer points of the trade. He's just like, look at his eyebrows again. Well, Inspector Gresham seems delighted with the idea anyway. Oh, you deflected the inspector's glare with such fortitude there, Mr. Sholmes. Well done. You're too kind, my dear madam. I hereby dedicate this great deduction to you. Kindly stand just there, Mr. Sato. Oh, yes. I'd be delighted. So, shall we begin? Once again, Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Oh boy, here we go again. The game is afoot. Oh my. So topic 1, the flipped furniture, okay? We are concluding what? It's plain to see that this room is in complete disarray. The bed, the table, the chairs, the lamp, everything is upside down. almost as if every item in the room had until recently been happily positioned on the ceiling, before falling straight down onto the floor. Every item in the room was on the ceiling? Are you suggesting that... Indeed, the key here is gravity. It would appear that technology has at last succeeded in freeing us from the great pull of the Earth. Oh my. For the gravity in this room was reversed and then suddenly restored to normality. Goodness. The inverted furniture clearly reveals the truth about the part gravity played in this whole business. I quite understand your skepticism, Mr. Sato. I, too, was incredulous at first. However, my conviction in my analysis was cemented when I observed this. An anti-gravity device, almost identical to one that featured in a dream of mine only the other day, in fact. An anti-gravity device, huh? I don't think so. But then why does it have a clock on it? A most relevant question indeed. That is a timing device that controls when the gravity direction will switch. There was clearly a requirement for the engineer to be able to restore normal gravity automatically. And the commotion we heard earlier from the other side of the door was the moment that the restoration occurred. Yes, the reason why everything in here has been turned upside down is because of the anti-gravity device. So you see, we need look no further to explain the state in which we now find this room. The direction in which gravity acts in here was reversed by Mr. Drebber, before being restored to normality in an automatic fashion sometime later by the timer device. I have witnessed precisely this scene in a dream I once had when I fell out of bed. So we definitely should account that as scientific deduction. Alright, the conclusion. Because gravity was reversed. Oh my. Okay. Topic 2. Missing engineer. Now let us consider the next conundrum. What was our engineer friend's aim? Indubitably, the greatest clue we have to explain his actions is above our heads. Yes, how is it possible that there are footprints all the way up there on the ceiling? A question whose answer will lead us neatly to the truth, my dear madam. The reason there are footprints on the ceiling is because of the nearby skylight. Of course, Drebber's aim was singular, to escape. However, there is but one way into this room, excepting the skylight, that is. Ah. Oh, he's saying if you were upside down, yeah. By inverting the gravity in here, Drebber was able to fall conveniently to the ceiling and make his escape via the otherwise inaccessible skylight, leaving those footprints behind on the way. But the ceiling in here is very high, Mr. Sholmes. If the gravity reversal was sudden, wouldn't Mr. Drebber have fallen up to the ceiling rather violently? Falling up is both scientifically and philosophically a rather interesting concept, I feel. But the man was cornered with nowhere to run, so escape through the skylight was his only option. You may recall that I found this in the room earlier, which I believe offers a solution. Oh, the rope. To reach the intended destination, what better tool than this rope? By anchoring one into the wall, the man was able to lower himself safely to the ceiling. Which explains how Drebber was able to escape this room before our arrival. He reversed the pull of gravity and fled via the skylight. And personally, I should very much like to reverse the pull of gravity again now, just for fun. Oh my, escaped via the skylight? I don't think so. I think there's another solution here. Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of this topsy-turvy puzzle. Oh boy. Exactly. That's my thoughts exactly, Gregson. And Gina's just like, I wasn't even listening. I was playing with Toby. Sato looks like she's trying not to laugh at him. Oh, she's completely spellbound. Mr. Sholmes, there is just one thing that troubles me. I would expect nothing less. You're destined to be troubled by just one thing for the rest of your life. The thing is such a thing actually possible? An anti-gravity device, I mean? I would say that with the man's current scientific knowledge at the turn of the 20th century, it's no more possible than instantaneous kinesis. Which you said was impossible, my guy. But your whole deduction hinges on it. Ah, but my dear fellow, when you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. However improbable it may seem. Okay. It's a marvelous line, wouldn't you agree? One of my more endearing pearls of wisdom. I had Iris come up with the exact phrasing. My original was clumsy. Yes, I have a feeling I've read something that Mrs. Sato lent me once. Actually, there is one other thing, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, the spell's broken at last. The rope you found was on the floor, wasn't it? Indeed it was, in lonely coils near the wall. But if Mr. Drebber had used it to escape in the way you described, wouldn't it still be tied to the wall? Mysteries inevitably unravel in the end, as I think you'll find 2 ropes. And as evidence of such, you need only look at the mystery we faced in this room, now skillfully unraveled. That argument is as circular as the coils of rope. I think perhaps we might need to give Mr. Sholmes the usual little helping hand. I'm sure with some minor corrections, the great detective's great deduction will lead us to the truth. Yes, you're right. And we must do it quickly before Enoch Drebber gets too far away. I don't think he's going anywhere. If you're ready, then let us resume. Sherlock Sholmes' logic and reasoning spectacular. Oh boy. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Alright, so with regards to the flip furniture, because gravity was reversed, what is the truth of it? We will resume just as soon as the ads complete playing. But so what's my thinking? I kind of think he just trashed the room looking for something. Maybe that, maybe the plans that he was burning, and then used the rope to climb up rappel style to the hot air balloon. I think he's in the hot air balloon. That's my theory. We'll see if that ends up playing out. But that is the current theory. Let's see how it plays out as soon as we get back from the ad. So just a little bit more, and then it's definitely playing out that he was the mastermind. So I wonder how it's gonna come out in court. Like, I think we're gonna find him, and then we're just gonna have to like stick it to him in court, and he's gonna have just so much stuff to try and throw blame. He's definitely going to do his best to shift blame. It's going to be great. Though we have a lot of evidence on him, I think. So it's going to be, I can't wait to see how this plays out for sure. So I'm trying to think of what kinds of, all the question marks or areas where we're going to have to course correct. So, all right, it looks like the ads are over. So let's continue on. It's plain to see that this room is in complete disarray. The bed, the table, and the chairs, the lamp, everything is upside down. Almost as if every item in the room had until recently been happily positioned on the ceiling, before falling straight down onto the floor. Every item in the room was on the ceiling? Are you suggesting that? Indeed, the key here. is gravity. It would appear that technology has at last succeeded in freeing us from the great pull of the Earth. For the gravity in the room was reversed and then suddenly restored to normality. Goodness. The inverted furniture clearly reveals the truth about the part gravity played in this whole business. Do you think gravity could have been reversed in this very room? I find the whole idea utterly enthralling. Only Mr. Sholmes could conceive of such an explanation. But the man himself admitted it was a scientific impossibility, so... Yes, you're quite right. We must completely discount the idea at once. Oh, that's unusually merciless of you, Mrs. Otto. When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. The great detective himself said so, didn't he? While refusing to part with his dreams of anti-gravity devices. Yes, I suppose so. Well, let's see if examining the topsy-turvy scene a little more closely reveals some proof that shows exactly what gravity in this room was or wasn't doing. Alright, so let's see. What can we find out? We've got an upright vase. Well, I wasn't expecting to find a pretty bunch of flowers in here, that's for sure. Ah, look at that. I know, that slender little vase looks like it's about to topple at any moment, but the flowers are thriving. Somehow it makes you think of the fragility of life, wouldn't you say? He's like, no. To be honest, Mr. Naruto, something else about it made a rather deeper impression on me. Exactly, it's upright. Let me just make sure there's nothing else to examine. We've got this large safe. Ah, look, Mrs. Sato. When everything seems to be upside down in here, this safe is conspicuously the right way up. Have you noticed? Yes, that is true. But look more closely at the safe's feet. Ah, that's a lot of very large bolts fixing it to the floor. Think before you speak. That's what you wanted to say, isn't it? I really put my foot in my mouth there. I certainly didn't say that. However, the vase doesn't have that. So, let's see. What else do we got? Inverted furniture. What else do we got? I think that's about it, right? We gotta point out the vase. Alright, so let's present that. The upright vase clearly reveals the truth. The upright vase clearly reveals the truth about the part gravity played in this whole business. On my word, Mr. Naruhodo, you've surpassed yourself by completely turning my argument on its head. Trying to impress your assistant here, perhaps? No one is trying to steal your spotlight here, Mr. Sholmes, trust me. As you rightly say, though it appears at first glance that all the furniture in the room is upside down, this unassuming slender vase is standing keenly to attention. And unlike the large safe, there is nothing affixing it to the floor. And it's the exception that breaks the rule. In short, much as it pains me, the gravity in this room was never inverted at all. My deepest sympathies for your loss? Oh, poor Mr. Sholmes. But the show must go on, so let us continue with our deductions. Now that we know this contrivance is not, in fact, an anti-gravity device, there remains but one other possibility. You don't say. Someone deliberately turned over every piece of furniture in here. Which might sound obvious, but leaves one mystery very much unsolved. Namely, why would anyone choose to do that? Quite, and naturally there is an explanation. Yes, the reason why everything in here has been turned upside down is because of the anti-gravity device. He's absolutely determined that this device must have something to do with it, isn't he? I'm afraid the lure of an exciting scientific explanation is too strong. Well, there's no doubt that somebody did this. Somebody turned all this furniture over. So whoever it was must have had a reason. I'm afraid nothing comes to mind at all, though. Well, let's look around and see if the answer presents itself. Alright, oh, okay. There we go. Look, there's something written on the underside of this armchair. Oh yes, safe. 432582. Safe, as in safe and secure? As in securable lockbox, I think. Admittedly more likely. Well, there is a large safe bolted to the floor on the other side of the room, so yes. So, you mean this number would let us open it? I wonder why it's written here, though. Alright, let's see.
Take that!
Yes, the reason why everything in here has been turned upside down is because of the safe combination. Precisely. I believe, Mr. Naruhodo, that you had a very similar experience once, did you not? Yes, last year. When I bought a lottery ticket and noted the ticket number down on the inside cover of a book just in case. That's it, for people are forgetful souls at heart and always make a written note of important information. Just keeping the ticket itself safe would be more sensible, I think. And what, pray, happened next, Mr. Naruhodo? When the day of the draw came around, I'd forgotten which book I'd written the number in and had to turn my rune upside down to find it. That's it, for people are forgetful souls at heart and always forget where they've noted things down. Not if you always note things in the same place. I actually won the second prize, you know. But I couldn't remember which magazine I'd slipped the ticket into. Thank you, Mr. Naruhodo, but I believe I've proved my point now. Which is that a very similar scenario has clearly unfolded in this room. Finding himself requiring access to the safe, the occupant of this room needed the combination code. He'd remembered that he'd written it on the underside of a piece of furniture, but forgot which one. Leading to the state in which we now find the room. Yes, Mr. Drebber returned all the furniture in here in a desperate hurry to locate the combination code that would unlock the safe. Alright. To find the safe combination. Alright, that's one deduction solved. Now, did he really escape via the skylight? Now let us consider the next conundrum. What was our engineer friend's aim? Indubitably, the greatest clue we have to explain his actions is above our heads. Yes, how is it possible that there are footprints all the way up there on the ceiling? A question whose answer will lead us neatly to the truth, my dear madam. The reason there are footprints on the ceiling is because of the nearby skylight. I don't know about that. Well, if a change in the direction of gravity can't explain it, then how did those footprints get there? Yes, I feel as though that particular mystery has just become even harder to solve. I can't think of any other way to explain it at all. Oh, life was so much simpler in those I'm not sure how you pronounce that word. Halcyon days when gravity could be reversed. It was minutes ago, and those halcyon days never existed in the first place? Well, I suppose we must simply put our faith in Mr. Sholmes and observe the area in more detail. Putting our faith in Mr. Sholmes is what gets us into these situations in the first place. I mean, that's true. Alright, let's see. I think it's gotta be balloon, right? This is a gas balloon, isn't it? It's tiny, but it does seem to be a real balloon. Yes, I think you're right. I think it's helium that's keeping it up. A green gas balloon. Why does that seem to ring a bell with me? If you can see, there are footprints on this balloon too. Look. Oh yeah, surely that's a clue, isn't it? Though what it tells us, I'm not sure. Yeah, okay. Can we look at... There's a shoe right there. It's hard to believe, but there's a shoe up there. Look. Oh, yes. And there are more footprints on this little balloon, too. Perhaps the shoe was thrown up there and became lodged, do you think? If so, then judging from the number of footprints, it must have been thrown up several times. Why would anyone be throwing shoes up at the ceiling, though? Oh, dear. That's beyond me, I'm afraid. I don't think that's it. Alright, can we look at anything else? We can look at the balloon. There's the skylight. I think there's nothing else to examine. It's just gonna be the balloon, right?
Take that!
Let's just see. Yeah. Nearby balloon. Being able to fly freely in the sky. That has been mankind's dream for centuries. And of course, the balloon is the invention that's made that dream come true. Mr. Drebber, clearly a man of dreams, used the balloon to ascend the ceiling and plant his feet on the roof. I feel like we're about to lose a bubble here. I take no pleasure in delivering the bad news, but the undeniable truth is, it's clearly too small. What? I knew you were going to say that. My dear fellow, then you are twice the fool. If people could fly in such small balloons, why would anybody else manufacture large ones? I despair of your lack of common sense at times, Mr. Naruhodo. Then it may be the shoe, right? Look, that really hurts coming from you. Let's try the shoe then. Right? Alright. Alright, the footprints up there really are a puzzle. And as they're so close to the skylight, it really is very hard to believe the two are unrelated. But perhaps we need to approach this from a different angle. Alright, so I feel like let's try presenting the shoe.
Take that!
There we go. The reason there are footprints on the ceiling is because of the nearby shoe. And on closer inspection, there are clearly footprints all over the balloon as well. In other words, the aim was never the skylight at all, but the balloon. But for what purpose? A green balloon? That seems somewhat familiar data. Yeah. It was a piece of green balloon's envelope that Mr. Naruhodo and Iris found at the scene. And inside the green balloon that Mr. Gotts claims he saw above the stage when the incident occurred was the second birdcage, the crux of the whole instantaneous kinesis deception. You mean to say? If we assume that the balloon in here is a model of one of the used on the day, there is a strong possibility something may be concealed inside it. Something our absconder was desperate to retrieve before making a hasty getaway. But the balloon's out of reach, hence why he resorted to a projectile, namely the shoe. Ah. Most probably, Drebber intended to tear a hole in the envelope by assailing it with the shoe. However, his efforts were thwarted when the shoe itself became a prisoner of those lofty heights. Oh dear, we desperately need to examine that balloon. If only there was some way we could see inside. You may recall that I found this in the room earlier, which I believe offers a solution. Oh, the rope. To reach the intended destination, what better tool than this rope? Mr. Sholmes has managed to bring the deduction back to the rope. Alright, I have to admit that was clever. So we just throw the rope up to the balloon and then pull it down to us on the ground? Which is much easier said than done, I feel. And it could take us a very long time as well. True, perhaps we need a more surefire method. In fact, we already have one, of course, don't we? Of course, it's the crossbow. It would be this.
Take that!
To reach the intended destination, what better tool than this crossbow? And that was found at the scene, in fact. And in all likelihood belongs to Mr. Drebber. If the man had only brought it away with him that day, he could have avoided losing a shoe at such a critical time as this. Indeed. So, shall we? Your curiosity is deeply stirred, no doubt, my dear fellows. What is it that Enoch Drebber has hidden inside that balloon? Alright, the moment of truth. What the? A waxwork? It's the head. Indeed it is, a waxwork head inside a metal mask. A mask that is shut tight and fastened with a strong and quite impenetrable lock. So we can't see the face inside, that means. Just a moment, this is the head of a waxwork model? What does that mean? Oh goodness. I see you've joined the dots, Mr. Sato. Excellent. It's the one that's missing from the, what was it, the professor in the exhibit at the museum? Ah, of course. A headless waxwork model. The case of the abducted Madame Tussbell's model that you'd largely solved. It was only the head of the killer that was still missing. Indeed it was. But I believe Madame Tussbell's will now have to settle her sizable account with me. This, as you have now surmised, is the head of the infamous professor. Yes. But why is it here? This conclusively confirms my suspicions. The man responsible for stealing the professor from Madame Tussbell's and returning it sans tête earlier today was none other than Enoch Drebber. This is incredible. Professor Harebrain's case and the waxwork abduction they're inextricably linked by Enoch Drebber's workshop. All right, we've got the waxwork head entered into the court record, which we're definitely going to look at. So let's see. Well, it appears our logical pleasure cruise has come to an end, my dear fellows. All that remains is, yes, to speak with the architect of this adventure. The architect? You mean Mr. Drebber? As it seems quite impossible that he escaped via one of the skylights. Obviously, the man must still be here in this room. What? And his location should be abundantly clear. If you simply reflect on the journey we've made together during this deduction. Enoch Drebber is right here, somewhere in this room? Is he in the safe? That would be silly. So, Mr. Naruto, will you do the honors? Yes, of course. Mr. Drebber's hiding place must be the... Where is he hiding? Is he hiding in... Maybe he's hiding in the wardrobe. Because, I mean, that would be reminiscent of... So there is the safe. I'm wondering if it could be the safe, but then how would he get out? That's the only thing I don't know there. But I kind of want to do the wardrobe. And just to see. If you need to hide, there's no better place than a wardrobe. I stand firmly by that. Ah, yes. You had some experience of that yourself a year ago, didn't you? We'll find him in there. Mark my words. He'll be curled up in a ball, trembling and hungry. In fact, my own hand is trembling just thinking about making the discovery. Never mind, Mr. Naruto. He could be hiding somewhere else, you know. Yes, he could be hiding in the safe. That's what I'm kind of wondering. Look at all that mess in front of the safe. Yes, plans and accounting ledgers. Almost as if somebody was in a hurry to empty the contents of the safe, in fact.
Take that!
Let's see. Is it the safe? Before we gain access to this back room, we heard noises from in here. Which tells us that the engineer is still in the building at that point in time. He was in fact searching for the combination to his safe. And pressed for time, made no attempt to right the furniture he overturned in the process. from which we can deduce that his search for the combination happened very recently indeed. In summary, Mr. Enoch Drebber is at this very moment inside the safe. Oh boy. Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of this topsy-turvy puzzle. He is inside the safe. Oh man. Now we just have to unleash him, right? And find out, or I guess now we have to haul him to court, right? Oh boy. So, Mr. Naruhodo, I think perhaps it's time we ended this game of hide-and-seek, don't you? By opening the safe, you mean? What else? Let's see, the combination was 1432582. I knew that. Alright then, here goes. We open the safe. Oh my. You found me. Are you like made of metal? What a weird guy. You're like half robotic. Oh my. He's like half android. We definitely found him. Alright then, sir. Mr. Enoch Drebber, I presume? Correct. You'd better start talking. You tricked Professor Hairbrain with that bogus machine you built.
And you shall have to explain the theft of the waxwork from Madame Tussbell's as well.
Whilst I would be delighted to answer your many questions. Personally, I would advise that you deactivate my little parcel first. Deactivate
Your parcel?
It is a bomb. I refer, of course, to the time bomb. I left it in a most prominent position.
Ah.
Exactly. I see. Stunned silence. You're all gearing up to die with me then.
No.
Susato was right from the start.
Mr. Sholmes, with only 7 seconds to spare.
That was too close for comfort. 1 foot in the grave already. Are you trying to help us get a killer or get us killed?
Mr. Sholmes' deductions can be completely life-altering, can't they?
Maybe just a little bit? Well, my dear fellows, that was a close shave. The resemblance to an anti-gravity device is really quite startling, I must say.
Anti-gravity devices don't exist.
Oh, I wouldn't push it, Mr. Sholmes. Alright, time to talk. What happened here? What on earth happened in here? You've found me, haven't you? No need to screw me down any further. Everything in here is precisely what it seems. Yeah, well, we'll be giving it a thorough going over, don't you worry, Drebber. What fails to click with me is how you were able to locate my workshop. That I was not expecting. When I heard whistling from the other room, I knew it was time to bolt.
Whistling?
Ah, that would have been me.
Oh.
For some reason, I woke in a fine fettle today. No words, just tightly squeezed chips. Clearly, I must have a screw loose, though, as I couldn't remember the combination for the safe. Yes, clearly you have a screw loose. And another one loose, as I couldn't remember on which piece of furniture I'd written it down. We also found a rope over by the wall. Yes, I had hoped to exit through the skylight, but sadly, the rope was too short. So, I then set about searching for the combination code to open the safe. And burning the incriminating blueprints, don't forget. Regrettably, though, you failed to retrieve the head from the balloon among the rafters. He's like, ... And after that, you hid yourself inside the safe? Having first set this parcel ticking? Well, I had no intention of being nailed by the police. Got a death wish, have ya? Hiding right beside a ticking time bomb? Please, why do you suppose I chose to hide inside the safe? Because it wouldn't have been affected by the explosion. It's no ordinary safe. It's specially designed. A dynamite explosion wouldn't leave a scratch on it. So, in fact, the safe was the only safe place. Precisely.
But once you'd climbed inside, we wouldn't have been able to get out again.
I invite you to look more closely. Yeah, I saw that there was a wheel on the inside. The safe is fitted with a handle on the inside to allow the door to be unlocked from within. Ah, so it is. I had always intended to blow this place to smithereens in any case. I just wasn't expecting uninvited guests to come along and screw up my plans. Do you mean to say you are planning to blow us all up? No, that was unforeseen. What do you mean? Most people run, you see, when they see a ticking time bomb at their feet. Ah, I calculated the time required for retreat to a safe distance and set the device accordingly. But your seemingly endless discourse in here threw a spanner in the works. He's giving Sholmes the look. What? Is something wrong, Gregson? Do I have something on my face besides the usual eyes, ears, nose, and mouth? He's completely oblivious. I think we have a fairly good idea of what's been going on in here now. What about the 2 incidents you've evidently been involved in recently? Professor Harebrain's instantaneous kinesis experiment at the Great Exhibition? And the waxwork model you stole, which this head belongs to? Alright, so let's take a pause for the breaks, and we'll see what his answer is when we come back. This guy definitely has a few screws loose. Something, I'm really curious. So my thinking, we can't see the face of the waxwork. I'm wondering if it looks similar to the guy who was supposedly kinesed across the Crystal Tower. I forgot his name, Mr. Asman, Odie Asman. I wonder if the professor has like a resemblance to him, or if maybe he's related somehow, perhaps. Like, that would be interesting. We'll have to see. But yeah, I'm super curious where this is going to lead us to. This guy is obviously not got he's definitely a few crayons short of a box here. He's like ticking like a clock, though. He's very mechanical, like half android almost. He's got like positive and negative buttons, like he's very much involved in his scientific endeavors. Just looking at him, everything is just all gears and cogs and everything. So crazy. We're almost done with the ads. All right. It looks like the ads should be over, so let us continue on. That's no ordinary head, you know. That's the head of the professor. Clad in a mask with a lock so strong, I'm unable to open it safely to reveal the killer's identity. I've been considering carrying it around as protection. After all, that's enough. Oh. What does she have to say? What's going on here, Gregson?
I'm sure you're aware that I have sole jurisdiction to investigate here.
Yes, well... Dr. Scythe again. So the forensic investigation team are here.
And you know full well this engineer is a key witness. Why are you allowing this lawyer access to him? If Lord Strongheart knew of this, you'd be finished.
I mean, aren't you supposed to allow the lawyer to have access to witnesses?
You lot, leave at once.
My dear madam, there's no need for such a threatening tone, I assure you. After all, that's no way to greet an old acquaintance, is it, Dr. Scythe?
Hello, Sholmes.
Mr. Sholmes knows Dr. Scythe? If it's protecting the machine next door that's causing such a sour expression on your face, you're quite misguided. It's really nothing more than a shell, you...
Get out.
But of course, we'll show ourselves to the door. I see you haven't softened at all. Mr. Naruhodo? Yes? It would appear that our delightfully entertaining investigations have run their course for today. But Mr. Sholmes... Let us leave this place in the doctor's capable hands. Oh boy.
I said, get out, now, all of you. Your presence here is not required either, Gregson.
He's just like, you know, he was just trying to do the right thing. I understood. And you're like ripping him a new one. But I'll just say one thing before I head off. If it wasn't for this lawyer and his companions, we'd never have found this place, and the whole workshop would have been blown to bits. There was a time bomb set in here that this lot disarmed. Inspector. What's he gonna say now? Something giving you a chuckle, has it, Drebber?
So sorry, didn't mean to offend. You are quite right, of course. You did disarm the time bomb, didn't you?
Did we?
Yes, you did disarm that one.
What are you... That one? Yeah, I mean... Uh-oh, is there another one? Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh. On the actual machine. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, man. Now our job just got more difficult. It was an hour later that we heard the news of the enormous explosion that ripped through the experimentation stage at the Great Exhibition. Professor Harebrain's invention and all its secrets were blown away forever. Oh man. He knew what he was doing. He was covering his bases. Oh boy. Well, that is going to be where we are going to pause it. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and give it a save. Where are we at? I think we're at the top here. Yeah, we're at the top. Right here. Save here. Alright. Now, I want to get back to the title screen. We're not going back to court right now. We're going to go back to the title screen. Alright. Well, that is going to be where we are going to pause today's adventures. We did, in fact, locate Mr. Enoch Drebber, but man, he had some diabolical schemes up his sleeve, didn't he? Man, what secrets did he blow up with this machine? Are we going to be able to find out? I don't know. We'll have to find out what what we're able to explore in the next episode. So if you like this kind of content, please make sure to like, subscribe, follow, share, all that good stuff. If you want to watch live, we're on Twitch at twitch.tv/Liara27. I have my schedule posted in the about and in the description. And if you want to see which games we're playing each day, I post them on x.com/Liara27. And I hope you'll join me in the next one. Until then, guys, bye. All right. We did it, guys. All right, and that is going to be it for us for today, of course. So we will be back here tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central. We are going to be playing some more Unheard. We might be able to finish Unheard. So we did solve the first 2 questions, and then we found out that the whole thing was just like a movie, and even the criminals were actors. But there was a real gun on the set. So we've got to trace the gun through the entire scene and figure out who brought it in, basically. So that's going to be fun. And then we will also be going back to Riven. So we discovered a new island, and we've got to figure out about that one as soon as we can raise and lower all these maps and stuff. And so there might be some secret there. We'll have to check it out. But anyways, all of that will be tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central Time. And for now, we're going to raid Daedalus, HV Daedalus. He is playing Elden Ring, of course. And we will go say hi, and then we will be back here tomorrow. So once again, thank you everybody who hung out today. I appreciate you. I hope you enjoyed your time here, and I hope you will check it out tomorrow as we dive into some more mystery. So until then, guys, I will see you later. Bye.